Hello everyone. We're back with our second video of the day. Let's start with the Merseyside derby that's going to happen. Liverpool versus Everton at Anfield. So, our resident Liverpool fan.
Well, San, I don't know where to start from. Another very important fixture coming up, but one good thing is that Everton is not in form, losing away to Leicester. I know they played very well. They held Leicester. It was looking like they would hold Leicester for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
But eventually, Leicester had scored right, before the end.
San's
on
mouth is
96
already.
on the 96th minute.
San's already twitching.
He's truly.
They held
drooling
Leicester.
after.
Uh,
Yeah, well, I wish they could drawn against Leicester because that would have extended Liverpool's lead at the top to I think around 11 points.
Yeah.
But Leicester right now they still trail Liverpool by 8 points. Key talking point for Liverpool is that before we talk about Merseyside derby, they played. I don't think they played very convincing football again against
Yeah.
Brighton at home.
Yeah.
And
Brighton at the end was all over them. Even
yeah,
before
they
the
were
red
all
card.
over. I mean, the first half was good for Liverpool. They did not take their chances. Mane and Firmino could not, convert the ball which they had in the box. And Matt Ryan, the Brighton goalkeeper, he did a very good job in the first half. But Van Dijk did score
Yeah,
two
yeah,
goals.
both the goals they were mistakes. Well, the keeper should have stopped them.
Yeah,
And defensively they were
but still,
everywhere as well.
credit to Arnold, Trent Arnold and Van Dijk. I
Yeah.
mean, he supplied both assists to Van Dijk through set pieces for I think both of them were headers, right?
Yeah, both of them. One
Yeah.
from a free kick and one from a corner.
you know,
So,
this game was more like a stamp for Van Dijk to be a world class
Yeah,
defender.
it was with the Ballon d'Or
Doing both.
ceremony coming up
Yeah.
as well. Right time for him to shine, but news is that he won't be winning it. So
With
that's
Ronaldo and Messi there, it's
Messi,
always a
Messi's
bit
probably going to win.
difficult.
Yeah.
Messi's probably favourite to win. News has been leaked out by some from some media and journalists that Messi's probably going to win again. His sixth, by the way, that is a very good achievement. But then coming back to the game, I think Liverpool, I don't know, they're not informed, they're not able to just see the game through. I mean, again, right at the end, the last 15 minutes were very nervy and tense. Alisson is going to miss out the very important clash
and
against
Fabinho is not going to be there.
Fabinho is injured. Yes, he got injured against Napoli, so he's out till the new year.
Yeah.
And he's going to miss 10 important matches for Liverpool until the start of the next year. So we're going to be missing him. And Klopp said that he needs to have a change in formation or change of tactics now. So, but he was missed. Certainly, was missed against Brighton. But to add more salt to the wound, Alisson got a red card for handling the ball outside the penalty box.
And everybody at Liverpool was sleeping for the goal.
Yeah, they were sleeping, but that free kick was a very clever one by Lewis Dunk, taken
Yeah.
very quickly. I mean, Adrian was still busy in setting up his wall, and he.
The whistle had blown. He should have.
The whistle had blown. The referee allowed it, so I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying here that was a cleverly taken free kick by Lewis Dunk, and Adrian was just setting his wall and a 30-yard placement right at the corner, so that was a good one. At times you felt that Brighton was going to take a point from this
Yeah,
match. It was
Dunk
very close.
actually should have had a hat trick because he had two great chances
could
that he
have got a
missed.
hat trick. So this is nervous time for Liverpool. Yes, they got 3 points again, but they need to figure out something because this is a very tough month for them. Now they cannot keep getting away with games like these. I mean, tougher opposition to play. They have a team like Leicester to play on Boxing Day, and Leicester will try to reduce our deficit by going for a win
Yes,
against
definitely.
Liverpool. Even Everton, they're in a very tricky situation right now. The manager is under fire. The team, they've tried a lot of different tactics and different personnel, but it's not been working out for them.
Yeah, the manager might be the first manager to get fired because of VAR.
But Liverpool, having said all of
Because
that,
that second
Yeah.
goal.
having said all of that about Liverpool, the one very interesting fact about Liverpool's season this year has been that when City is behind, I sort of do have that kind of twitch in my tummy that they might probably end up losing the game. But whenever Liverpool goes behind, they've exhibited this, this performance, this element in their performance that, even when they're not playing very well, they still do end up, coming out with results. And there are characters and quality and, players with that X factor that, who could probably even influence the game personally. So even in the last match, if you look at Van Dijk, Van Dijk defended well. He also scored 2 goals. He was all over the place. In terms of performing. He performed up front. He performed at the back. In the same manner, you look at Mane's name coming up again and again. Obviously, no, I don't need to remind anyone about Salah. Or even Fabinho or Firmino. All of these players. Liverpool in itself, I feel, is more of a well done jigsaw puzzle. They've gotten their last piece, and the interesting litmus test at the moment is going to be this week and the weeks to follow till the end of December, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's going to be a tough test. Like you said, Liverpool, they're a stable side, especially after winning the Champions League. They've settled in well. But the problem is that their inability to see a game through. I mean, right when they were leading 2-0, you would expect in the second half, okay, they might add a few more goals and they can rest a few key players. But, the only difference was this time compared to the previous matches, they were not chasing the match. They actually had a 2-goal lead.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, giving it away and playing down with 10 men
Yeah,
one
that
man
was
down.
the last
That
10
was
minutes.
that was another.
but although there's a long season ahead, I'm sorry I cut you in between. But even then, even if you hear Gary Neville's interviews about the United of old times, whenever you're talking about the youth team as well, even if there are young players coming in, and very major players being, obviously injured, with Liverpool, the difference between Liverpool and probably United at the moment is that there are a couple of very, very high quality players in United as well. Liverpool has them too. But in United, the one thing that's missing is that those senior players that set the standard. But when you look at Liverpool, Liverpool has that. Liverpool has this fixed system that they're playing towards, and that they're playing in, and the standard that they base their game off. So even when if he brings through younger players to probably play in place of the ones that are injured, I for some reason am not very impressed with the fact that they might not perform. I feel like they will perform in their positive times ahead again. Because if Liverpool falls from here, that could be very negative for them
That will
moving
be
forward.
devastating,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
especially if
still.
Brendan Rodgers wins it, he'll be the most hated man in Liverpool.
And listen, I don't see that happening. To be very frank, I don't see that happening this
Can
season.
be Asan if
honestly.
you see. I mean, it's easier to say this, but I mean, look at Leicester. I mean, 8 points. 8 points means that Liverpool has to lose 3 matches.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Leicester has to win 3 matches. I mean,
They almost lost.
they're gonna have tough
Yeah,
fixtures as well. They're gonna have draws as well, and Liverpool are unbeaten so far. I expect them to drop points. I mean, in this hectic fixture, and
Yeah.
a loss can come anytime. I mean, I don't see an invincible season for them.
For Leicester.
For both.
For Liverpool,
For
as well. I
Liverpool
mean,
as well.
Leicester, I think, has lost a match.
Yeah,
Or
Leicester
they've lost two matches.
two matches.
Leicester has lost 2 matches. So I'm talking about Liverpool. I don't see an invincible season, and Leicester as well. I mean, they can lose a match any time. If
Yeah.
you talk about Manchester City, who thought that Leicester's going to be closer to Liverpool in this season for a title rather than Manchester City. Even for City to catch Liverpool, I mean, they have to hope that Liverpool loses four matches, and City can have a run of 10, 15 unbeaten matches like they did last season.
Yeah.
But sorry, I'm interrupting you. I've interrupted him already. But
No problem.
like I feel like at the moment, it's very important for Liverpool to probably keep a hold of their lead at
Yeah,
the
they have
moment.
to.
Why? Because if you look post January, if you look at post January, you've got the Champions League coming up and all of that. The usual stuff. But if you go into very micro, into very micro level, you see that when you're talking about United, you have players coming back in the form of Paul Pogba, Nemanja Matic, McTominay. Then you look at City. There are a couple of players coming in back into the team post January as well. If you look at Chelsea, their transfer ban may be lifted, and obviously the January transfer window is just on our heads, and obviously all teams are going to be doing some business. Probably also Liverpool for that matter.
They have to. There are a few names coming up, but the thing is,
Exactly.
January might be a bit too late. I mean, let's see what happens in December. There's one more thing that they failed to defeat Napoli at home
Yeah,
in the
so they
Champions
have
League.
to,
Have a very tricky tie away to Red Bull.
No,
if they lose that match,
Yeah, if
they
they
might.
lose, it's
but
all over. They
but
need
my
to at least get
point
a
is
draw.
that they definitely need to obviously keep a hold of the lead that they have. Again, even at the start of the season, that's something that we talked about. That this year, Jurgen Klopp is probably going to focus more on the Premier League than the Champions League, obviously. But even then, when you look at the picture, I feel that they really need to minimize the kind of losses of points that they incur pre-January as to post January, because things are going to change, and they need to go into the second half of the season
Definitely.
from a stronger standpoint.
But right now I feel, like you just mentioned, they've got 10 games that Fabinho is going to miss in just like 20
Fabinho's gonna
days.
miss, and but positive is that Matip might be coming back in the
Yeah.
defense, and because that handball which Alisson committed outside the box, I think Lovren is to be blamed for that. I mean, it was his fault that he
Yeah.
he lost his marker and he let the ball go through, and Alisson, I don't know whether it was deliberate or his goalkeeping instincts that he just
It was like goalkeeper's instinct, I guess. But
pulled
he would
out
have
his
scored. He would have scored.
But
hand, but
even with Fabinho out of the picture, I don't see Liverpool just going flat on
Yeah,
their feet.
but what my point is, look, they've got so many fixtures coming up in just
yeah,
20
they
days.
have, and they're going
They've
to go
got
to
10 fixtures, and one of their even Premier League fixtures has been delayed because of their scheduling issues. West Ham game, 2 weeks down the line.
I mean, I would, blame the FA for
Yeah,
especially
so this
messing up
can
the
cause fatigue and injuries.
for coinciding the Carabao Cup as well as the Club World Cup fixture. I mean, they're going to play two different teams with two different
Yeah,
managers.
and then in the same week they have 2 matches in the
So,
Premier League as well in the
they-
same week.
I mean,
So fatigue is going to be a key factor.
Fatigue is a very important problem.
And
Plus,
and
the
they
front,
have to now win against Red Bull Salzburg.
plus the front
So
three.
traveling would be an issue as
Plus
well.
the front three is in very good form. I mean, Mane has been excellent, but he has 8 goals right now, where he's not scoring freely like he was last season, and Firmino as well. Also, Mohamed Salah, he's not the same because of his recurring injuries. So let's hope he can just hit form at the right time.
So yeah, I agree with you.
And
Also,
then a tricky fixture away to Bournemouth as
yeah,
well.
I feel that would be a a key fixture, because that is one fixture where Liverpool can put their pedal off the gas.
Yeah,
And,
Bournemouth?
against Bournemouth,
That's not
but
going
they
to be
still have to churn out results for that.
Yeah, I think
So-
I take a draw again.
No, I feel
They
that
should get a win. I feel they
I
should get a
think-
win, but they can. That is, I believe, the only fixture they have in this period that they can
I
rest a
feel-
few players.
I feel
I don't think-
Mohsen is being a bit too conservative in terms of
No, I think
forecasting.
I think Bournemouth. I mean, at home they've been very good.
No, they've been good, but then again, you're talking about Liverpool this season, man. As in, even if you're looking at the youth team, or young players coming in, again, you don't expect, a team that's ahead by miles, on the
See-
leaderboard, just going and losing a match against a team
not
like
expecting a loss. I mean,
Bournemouth.
I'm expecting a draw because Liverpool's defense hasn't been good.
I'd probably go for a draw at Everton. I don't know why,
No,
but
No,
I'd rather.
Everton
Win
is
against
going to
Everton.
Everton
Gonna win
is-
at home
is-
against
Oh, sorry, it's at home. Then I guess
Everton, even though Everton, it's a Merseyside derby, there will
Yeah,
be
still.
hopes up. But Everton right
It's
now,
probably going to be the last game from Marco Silva as an Everton manager.
Probably.
I feel.
because,
I feel like they're gonna win both matches, and they're gonna win it by a goal probably. Again, the
Very
same
close
thing's
one
gonna be
again.
probably happening,
Close one again.
but I don't see them losing.
okay. So win at
Uh,
home and
At home, and a
Draw.
draw would do.
and
A
you
win
have
is-
both wins.
Both wins, yeah. But
Yeah.
then yeah, go for it.
All right. So I feel a win for Liverpool against Everton, and a draw or a loss
To
to
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
To Bournemouth.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they'll probably rest a number of players.
I don't think they'll be resting.
That is the
yeah.
only
Few
that is the
players.
only fixture that they can do.
I don't think they're gonna be resting a lot of players because they don't have a lot of options
See,
either.
I'll tell you one thing. The fixtures aren't tough, to be honest. I
But
mean,
travelling
the
is.
most difficult fixture they have for me on paper is the match against Leicester on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like you mentioned, it's fatigue. I mean,
It's
how
fatigue,
fit are
traveling,
the players? What is the level of intensity they can play week in, week out? I mean, almost three matches in 10 days, so it's going to take a lot of toll from them.
Yeah.
But let's see how they do.
Yeah. So I guess that's about it for Liverpool. Let's move on to Chelsea then.
Yeah.
Chelsea lost to Hamels.
Funny thing, Dan wasn't aware of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
He
I was
wasn't
actually-
keeping score.
He
Yeah,
wasn't
for-
keeping score. He was waiting to talk to someone, discuss this with someone.
Yeah.
It's just that I really don't like the color blue. I guess.
Yeah.
Although I'm wearing it right
Yeah,
now.
you'll probably find out about that next week. Yeah.
Talk about the Chelsea match. They played very well, but failure to convert their chances. Tammy Abraham was missing for Chelsea in this match, and
Yeah.
there was one controversial decision. I mean, some people say they should have got a penalty. I think Pulisic and Mount, or Pulisic, made the pass and it hit the defender's hand in the penalty box.
But I think it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, but there are different, views and points to that one. Chelsea, they made chances, but West Ham surprisingly coming with an away win.
Yeah.
Cresswell, the left back, scored a very good goal from his right. So, Chelsea, I think 2 back-to-back losses, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, but now they're up against Villa in the midweek, and then they're going against Everton. So
Are they playing Villa at home or away?
Villa is at home and Everton's away.
Okay.
So Villa would be at Stamford Bridge. So I think
Yeah.
although
Chelsea-
Villa did well against United and they did well
yeah, they
against
can. I mean,
Newcastle.
Jack Grealish is
Jack
very
Grealish,
good
man,
form.
that finish by him was
Very-
just
very good
beauty.
form. Very good
Honestly,
form.
yeah,
Excellent
beautiful
against
finish.
Newcastle, he was very good against Manchester United. So let's see
Yeah.
how he
We
does.
got
Because-
But
Ancelotti over here as
in
well.
that match they got a couple of injuries as well. They got a player injured and had to replace him. I feel that with against Chelsea, considering that this is probably a home game for
Yeah.
Chelsea.
At Stamford Bridge.
At Stamford Bridge, it's never very easy when you're talking about, and Chelsea has been in good form as well. Deducting the last game. I feel that Chelsea is definitely going to come out with a win, against Villa, because Chelsea in general has a more positive side at the moment, and again United, coming from probably another loss during the Europa League, and obviously because of other performances as well, and the pressure mounting up on the manager, I feel that there's a major difference between Chelsea going against Villa at home and United going against Villa at home.
Yeah, there is.
You can't cut them with one sword.
You're right, but let's see how Chelsea pick themselves up from 2 consecutive losses, because we didn't see this one coming as well. I mean, we even expected Manchester United to see off Aston Villa at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
So
I did.
That shows that Aston Villa can give you a surprise, can come with a surprise. I mean, so they cannot underestimate them. But important that we've discussed about Liverpool, we have to talk about Chelsea as well. I mean, they had a transfer ban. They don't have any new players in their squad, so they have tough fixtures coming in this December period as
True
well.
that, as in again, same issue that United has at the moment, a lack of depth in their squad. But again, Lampard has been
Lampard has been very
managing
key,
them really
for
well.
Chelsea.
Exactly. So I just feel that at the moment Chelsea and United, yes, one can say that they're probably on paper on the same boat, not in terms of the number of draws and wins that both teams have had. Chelsea is way far ahead in terms of the wins and the performances that they've put in. But again, I feel that pre January, obviously, Chelsea is definitely going to try to maintain that position that they have on the leaderboard, because at the moment the league table is very tight, and a loss can mean a loss of probably 2 or 3 positions on the leaderboard as well.
Yeah, and if you talk about Hassan, the Everton match, what is important to see is how Everton performs against Liverpool.
Yeah.
If Silva gets a sack, they probably have a
New
an
manager.
interim manager or a new manager coming in. Chelsea against Everton, Everton has performed well against Chelsea, especially at Goodison Park. So it's going to be a tricky fixture for Lampard, but then we have to see the midweek results, how they perform against Liverpool at Anfield. for
Yeah.
Everton.
About that, I feel Marcus Silva has been getting a lot of slack. Right now, Everton hasn't been really
They haven't been performing. I mean, they've made such good signings. They're not where they want to be. They're
Yes.
an ambitious club who wants to try to break in somewhere in that top six, but it isn't easy,
Bilkul.
and they're failing to do so. They've had a lot of managerial changes in the past 3-4 years, and they want.
They've sold a lot of players as well.
They've
That is
sold players. I mean, some of the players are old and they haven't replaced them with
Yeah.
good quality players. That has been a problem, and at times they've tried to make a lot of changes all of a sudden, which haven't worked for them.
But even in Leicester's game, in the previous game against Leicester, Everton did create a couple of problems for Leicester as
Yes.
well. Yeah.
Their
Right.
strikers were really quick and they were really good on counters. But the
Yeah.
problem is Richarlison or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Richarlison.
Richarlison got injured
He's
right at
very-
the end of the game.
Very key player
So,
for Everton.
He is,
probably
but-
going to miss the Liverpool game.
We're sort of forgetting that going to Everton at Everton's home isn't an easy game
It isn't.
either. It's not easy, and Chelsea having a very young side, it'll be a test of their nerves, obviously, because Everton's gonna come out with everything they have. I feel because again pressure mounting on the manager, and then it's a home fixture for them. So I feel that Chelsea would fare, particularly well against Aston Villa as compared to Everton. I would rather go for a draw against Everton and a win against Villa.
I'd agree with Dan on this one.
Okay, and I guess, but I would say they win against Everton as well. So because Villa of course, although we didn't see it coming with Manchester United as well, but I still don't
Stop
see
rubbing it on my face.
I still didn't.
In my face,
I
sorry.
don't see it against Chelsea, especially against Chelsea, and also Everton isn't doing well. So and due to their injury to their striker, so I really don't see them coming
Let's
back.
see how Chelsea does. I'm not sure if Abraham's going to be fit for the upcoming matches, but again, Chelsea's defense needs to improve a lot for these for all the remaining fixtures now.
But I feel that they responded to the manager, and I feel that
They're doing well. I mean,
definitely buck up a
on the
bit.
positive side, I mean, Lampard's done very well.
Yeah, managers,
All the
he's got
praise
the
goes
manager.
to him, and the players are playing for the club, the badge, and the manager.
Yeah,
That is why
definitely.
they've been so good and successful this season so far.
All right.
Last but not least, I
No,
guess.
I think we'll do it in another video. I think this. is
Are you
too
sure?
long. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do it in the other video. Okay.
Yeah. So
Sorry
I
for
guess
being a
that's
bad
about
kid.
it for the video. Do remember to like and share the video and subscribe to our channel, and leave us comments. What do you think?
Why don't you comment?
Yeah.
We're not getting comments.
Yeah, that's for the last few videos,
There's
it's
some
been dried
people
up.
who message me personally, but I want to
and
comment them down rather than messaging me personally.
Yeah, and do also let us know whether Liverpool would slip up. And we think Liverpool is really going to be really fatigued, but Dayan over here really believes in Liverpool. For some reason, he really believes in Liverpool.
Although I'm a United
This
fan,
Manchester United fan is more optimistic than me.
no, as in Liverpool, I believe in Liverpool, and I feel like I have faith in them to probably take this league ahead, make it a bit more exciting for themselves. Obviously, it's going to become boring for the others because there's not going to be a
No, but
title
with
race.
Liverpool, I mean, anything can happen. That is exciting
Okay,
part. I mean,
okay then. This is the first Liverpool fan
no,
saying
I mean,
that.
any other team, 11 points, say, oh, they won. The
I thought
league,
you were
so
going to
what
bring up the slip
Liverpool,
ups.
I think, has lost
"Ah."
a 9-point lead with 3 games to go. They lost.
But
they had a 7-point lead.
one interesting thing for
They
all
didn't need a draw and they still lost.
for all United fans
I don't know
out
how that
there,
happened.
if you're watching, I'm most probably going to be doing a detailed video on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I'll have Mohsen probably with me, if he feels like it.
Yeah, he's going on travel
And
next week.
yeah,
so-
exactly. So I may be doing a video on him, and obviously I'm going to be discussing, the Ole out slogan that's been, rampant on everybody's, probably minds and tongues. So I guess we're going to discuss that in detail and how people try to compare him to the managers that preceded him as well. So yeah,
That's about it, I guess.
That's
Stay
about it.
tuned.
Thank you. Bye.
Hafiz.